Hey guys, BJ here, and I'm doing a series called My Black Paper Series, mostly because I see so many people talking about the white papers out there, and it's just a little spinoff because I keep my iPhone in dark mode. So when I write out a note or a memo like this, it's literally a black paper. So you're gonna see my Black Paper Series, and today's episode is on my crypto black paper. Now, guys, this is something that I want you to be able to tap into because it'll change your life literally in 3 years if you aren't persistent, and 5 years if you're persistent, just from following my direction. Now, if you have an LLC established, if you have a profiting business in place, if you have not pulled a credit line yet, it's very easy, very simple. The first step is you go get a $40,000 line of credit. Now, guys, this could work with a $10,000 line of credit. This could work with the $5, $10, $15, $25,000 in your bank account right now, right? The principle is just taking other people's money and making it work for you, which is why I said go get a $40,000 line of credit. But absolutely, you could even take the funds that are currently sitting in your account and make this the same truth for yourself. If you turn around and put them into Bitcoin and you hold on for dear life, what we've seen on average is every single year a 6x to 14x growth, but my numbers are based on just seeing a 3 times growth, which we're liable to see by this time, this summer, right? Obviously, along the way that things are going. But let's just say you grab that $40,000 line of credit and you hold on for dear life for 1 year. That's going to create $120,000 worth of BTC, right? Now, you're going to leverage, which means you're going to take $60,000 of that BTC and you're going to put it into one account that you still own, but it's leveraged with a crypto lender that's going to give you $30,000 in capital that you can spend, right? Now, I say there's only $30,000 left on your $40,000 line of credit because I hope you're also hustling, right? I hope that you're at least able to pay off $10,000 in a year. That's literally not even $1,000 a month. So it's not a bill that I think would rock your entire world, right? So if you could break it down to that, then you spend that $30,000 that you just leveraged on obviously handling that line of credit. You still have $60,000 in BTC sitting, plus $60,000 that's yours that you own, but it's being leveraged so that you can obviously have another line of credit basically to pay for the line of credit that you originally created. You're going to then reopen that line of credit, right? Now, remember, this is the 1 year mark. That's another reason why I've hoped that you've paid off a little bit over time so that you have a track record of paying every month with them, but then also having paid it off so that you can ask them to reopen your credit line at $100,000. Right? You're going to then spend $30,000 to pay off the BTC loan, and that's going to release $60,000 in BTC. So you have $120,000 in BTC again, and you have $70,000 in capital remaining to leverage, which you're going to buy BTC with, right? That'll put you at $190,000 worth of BTC that you're going to hold on for dear life and hustle with, right? So at the 2nd year mark, assuming that it just 3x'd again, no big halvings, no takeoffs, no none of that, you're going to see your $190,000 become $570,000, right? Now, $90,000 of that is leveraged to pay off the remaining $90,000 loan. That means we're going to take $180,000 of it, and with the way that fluctuates and swings, you're still going to have $390,000 in sitting BTC, but you're still going to also have that $180,000. It's just obviously in an account that you can't touch because it's being leveraged to give you that $90,000 credit line to pay off that obviously remaining loan that you have, right? You pay that off. Another year has gone by that you're paying diligently on your bills, your credit score is improving, everything's going in the right direction. You're now asking them for a credit line of $220,000, right? You're turning around, and at that point, you're going to spend the $90,000 to pay off the BTC loan, and that's going to release another $180,000 worth of Bitcoin, right? That's going to put you back to $570,000 worth of Bitcoin in your Bitcoin wallet. And it's going to still give you $130,000 in capital to be remaining that you can leverage, which obviously no brainer there. We're going to buy more Bitcoin with it, right? Bring us to $700,000 worth of Bitcoin. And that, once again, we're going to hold on for dear life and we're going to hustle. Guys, this is where things go one of two ways, right? Because let's be honest, at this point, I didn't put this in any of my copy, but I know a lot of people who are sharing this are going to talk about it because they like to talk about the highlights. I taught you how to become a multimillionaire within 3 years' time if you stop right now. You don't have to hustle another day in your life, lift another finger in your life if you pay attention to what happens in year 3. In year 3, that $700,000 worth of Bitcoin has become $2.1 million worth of Bitcoin. Now you pay off your $220,000 loan and you ask them to reopen for a $250,000 per year business loan. While your BTC increases, you could live off that $250,000 a year, right? That's why I said this can go one of two ways. You can stop right there. You have $2 million in the bank. You have $250,000 a year that your bank and that is going to give you for a line of credit because of the business that you've done with them that you can live off of. And then obviously as the Bitcoin makes more money every year, you just pay off that $250,000. And then you have a $250,000 lifestyle plus $2 million in the bank. That becomes $6 million in the bank next year, which becomes $18 million in the bank, blase, blase, blah, right? Now, for the bold, I tell you to pay off that $200,000 loan, then show, but do not leverage, right? That you have $2 million in assets and that your business has been consecutively growing for the last 3 years with a perfect credit track record with them, and that you're asking your banker, your lender, to just extend your credit line to $1 million with a 0% APR for 2 years. Now, the APR may vary. They may laugh at you come that point, but why not shoot for your home run record, especially in this current economy and with the way things are going? They want to hold on to somebody who's actually about their word. So if you can show them a beautiful track record, they're more willing to say this is a safe bet in an unsafe time. So they're going to make the safe bet, right? So they're going to give you that. And then you're going to turn around and you're going to spend that $1 million on BTC, of course, and you're going to hodl and hustle for 2 more years, right? Because in year 4, your $3 million becomes $9 million, and you're just paying off your minimum loans for your BTC loans, and you don't pay anything on that $1 million line because remember, they gave you 0% APR for 2 years. So you're just going to pay off the minimum, and you're not necessarily going to mess with it trying to make any sort of big leeway. Year 5, that $9 million has tripled again to $27 million. You're going to pay off that $400,000, releasing $9 million in Bitcoin. And then you're going to pay off the $1 million line of credit. And now your result in 5 years from today, with $0 of your own, right, leveraging other people's money, is a result of $26 million worth of BTC at its current value, right, at that point, which obviously will continuously go up, and an active $1 million line of credit, which means you could actively ask for $1 million worth of revenue or worth of ad spend or worth of spend on anything for your business, for your lifestyle, for your purposes, and your bank goes, okay, because of the track record that you've built with us and because of what you have in place with us, here you go. And that could be 5 years from now, or like I said, if you wanted to take off at year 3, you could be experiencing $2 million in the bank and $250,000 worth of a year, a credit line that I taught you how to leverage there as well. As long as you pay it off every year, you could obviously do that from the earnings of the BTC. But either way, year 5, you could obviously pay off the earnings of the BTC with the BTC and live $1 million a year lifestyle off of your credit line and never actually touch the Bitcoin itself, which is the most important part of this entire process. I taught you how to take other people's money, create an asset for yourself with it, and then leverage that asset to pay off the loan and then repeat the cycle to grow the asset. Your asset has grown in the last 5 years on top of your ability to borrow against that asset, and now both ways. Guys, I hope you've grabbed the vision and the power in this, because you don't have to have a dollar in the bank. You don't have to have some brilliant mind. You don't have to have some powerful leverage. You don't have to know anybody. You have to follow what I just taught you. And in 3 years from now, you'll have $2 million and could live a $250,000 lifestyle. Or in 5 years from now, you could be worth $26 million and have $1 million line of credit a year, which means you could live $1 million a year lifestyle off your business that will never, ever go away, in my opinion, because obviously I think my projection numbers are small. Obviously, you saw we did 14x this year with Bitcoin. So obviously those numbers that I just gave at just a 3x are crazy, crazy small, right? So this is something that will allow you to get out. This is something that will give you a new path. This is something that you can leverage to literally be a 7-figure or an 8-figure earner, 7-figure in 3 years, 8-figure in 5 years, that you turn around and no government, nobody can stop this plan right here. So I hope you took some tremendous value from it, because as you know, I'm not even selling you anything. You know, these videos are just to kind of give you guys the free game to let you guys be able to have a better life. So the way that I said I'm ending these new videos is you can be anything you want.